Alright, hello guys, this is Ian with Veritas, and I'm back with another video for you today. So today we have a comparison of two of Dynamic Disc and Latitude 64's top of the line bags. So over here on my left is a Combat Ranger, and over here on my right is a Latitude 64 Luxury E4 bag, is the full name of it. So these two bags are around the $200 range. The Lat 64 is $199.99 and the Combat Ranger is $189.99. So we're looking at the $200. This is Latitude 64 most expensive bag. This is Dynamic Disc most expensive bag. And I just want to go over the comparison and want to give you guys what some of the differences are, what the similarities are. So the weight and the dimensions are going to be in the description below. This one, for some reason, I weighed it 6.1 pounds on my scale. I weighed it 4 times. I don't know why this one is so much heavier than the Combat Ranger. So keep that in mind. I have no idea if something's wrong with my scale, but it's 6 pounds for this bag dry. And then I'll put the dimensions in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start comparing these two bags. Alright, let's go ahead and start comparing them. We're going to start with the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger at the top pocket here. This pocket at the top, Dynamic Disc does not advertise it as a putter pouch, but I just want to touch on something really quick. The whole entire bag is made of the same abrasion resistant material. It does have some weave and some stitching that causes it to have this checkered look on it, and it does feel very durable, and it runs throughout the whole entire bag. And it's kind of the same story for the Latitude 64 E4 over here. It's kind of the same abrasion resistant feeling material. It just runs throughout the whole entire bag. And so you're getting a durable bag regardless of which one you get. There are some differences with the Combat Ranger. So to start off with, all the zippers are not YKK zippers, and the same goes for the Lat 64. None of them are YKK zippers. The zipper pulls on the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger is going to be this little black zipper pull right here that has a little bit of texture, whereas the Lat 64 is going to have this red tab on the end here. I don't know if you can see it, this red tab on the end, a little bit of a strap right here, tiny strap with a tab on the end here. They're both nice either way you look at it. Starting with the top, we got 2 zippers. This is for the pocket that is for the water bladder. On the Combat Ranger, right in here, I use it as a rainfly holder, so just keep that in mind. And then the top pocket, 2 zippers open up the top, and it's a big cavernous pocket, just a little bit of fabric material with a little bit of foam inside, and then you open that up and you have just one giant pocket with a mesh pocket. The mesh pocket has a zipper. You can put your phone, your keys in here, so it kind of holds it in one area so it doesn't roam around all along these pockets. Inside the pocket, the bottom, it's going to be kind of a hard material, and it kind of curves down like this away from the front of the pocket, the front of the main compartment, so that you have a little bit of curvature. And then moving down from there, we have Dynamic Disc logo. This is all stitched in. This bag does come with a lot of different colors. There's like a bright orange, there's skull prints, there's blue, there's red. There's a ton of different colors for this particular Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger. Moving down from there, we have a sleeve right here. You can put a disc in here if you wanted to. It's a really good size sleeve, and it's a very thick sleeve. It's got some nice stitching on the bottom here. And again, this material feels very tough. You can kind of hear it here. It's not thin by any means. 2 zippers. It opens up the main compartment. Inside the main compartment, there is another piece of fabric with 2 Velcro pieces. These 2 Velcro pieces match with the other 2 Velcro pieces underneath the pocket where the main valuables pocket is. So you kind of push it up like that, and it kind of holds it in place. In the back of the bag, there's a strip of Velcro right here. This strip of Velcro is to mate with the strip of Velcro in front, because this bag does come with a divider. As a matter of fact, both bags come with a main compartment divider. I do not use those. And then the rest of the bag is just hard side material. You got some hard side in the back, hard side in the sides, and the hard side in the bottom. The reason for the hard side material is because at the bottom of the bag there's 5 feet that get screwed into the bottom of the feet. This material on the bottom of the Dynamic Disc, the Combat Ranger, is water resistant to help keep moisture out of the bag. And then finishing off the front right there, same fabric material. It's going to have the Combat Ranger that's stitched on right there, and along with that grid look on the Combat Ranger. So that's the front of the bag and the bottom of the bag. Moving on to the Latitude 64 E4 here. We got the handle, hull handle at the top, and then I forgot to mention the Combat Ranger. It's got the hull handle at the top. What they did was they took this material on the whole entire bag and they wrapped it around just a strap that goes all the way across the Combat Ranger so you can hold it like that. Lat 64 just a little bit differently. They just took two straps, sewn it down. They put a little bit of fabric on the bottom here, and then they just made it one piece, and it's kind of rigid, so it kind of holds up and it doesn't flop down like the other hull loop. Again, the zippers are not YKK zippers. This is a valuables pocket. It is a little bit more narrow compared to the Combat Ranger. So if I measure this, zipper, outside zipper is 8.5 inches, and then if we do the same thing over here, we're looking at a foot wide. So a foot wide on this pocket, 8.5 inches on this pocket in terms of opening. It does have this nice rubber print material with the Latitude 64 logo and a little bit of black accent here. So it gives it a nice touch. The pocket does open up. It has a little bit of sleeve with Velcro in here. And then the rest of the pocket is just one cavernous pocket. It does have some foam material and a hard plastic material in the back. In the back, it also has a little small pocket right here. It does not have a water bladder sleeve like the Combat Ranger does, but either way, it's got a lining similar to the Combat Ranger and it's very cavernous. This pocket was not advertised to be a putter pocket, but you can use it for a putter pocket. These two pockets are very similar, just one's wider than the other. And the one thing I like about this pocket is that this is a rigid material inside here, so it holds its position. So when you open it up like this and you put it back, it kind of holds its shape. Whereas the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger, it kind of like, you can see it slouches down. Even with the zippers, excuse me, even with the zipper, it kind of sinks in because it's not rigid enough to hold its shape, unlike the Lat 64. Moving down from there, we have a big sleeve. This sleeve does fit a disc, but it's a little tighter than the Combat Ranger. And then there's two zippers on each side, one on each side of the main compartment. The main compartment is, the bottom part is not zippered, so the zippers don't go all the way around like the Combat Ranger. You do have to, it's Velcroed, so it has this Velcro strip along here, and this Velcro strip mates with the Velcro strip that's on the inside of this part of the pocket right here. If you open that up, it doesn't have a hard material. It's just very thick fabric along with the liner. Excuse me. And then you have a strip right here. This strip mates with a strip underneath the valuables pocket, so it actually is a very nice clean look when you push it up together, and so it attaches in the back. It also has two strips, Velcro strips, just like the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger, because those strips are for you to put your divider in here, and I don't use a divider, but regardless, that's how the main compartment looks. The bottom is a little bit of a foam cushion material sitting on top of a hard material. So it's just like that. So this is the foam that comes out of it, but you can see it's a hard plastic material on the bottom. And then the side walls are hard material as well, and so is the back. And the reason why the bottom has a hard material is because it also has the same 5 feet layout. It also has this water resistant material on the bottom, similar to the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger. However, it does feel a little bit thinner and not as durable as the Combat Ranger, so just keep that in mind. The Latitude 64 bag does have this pocket in the front. When I was field testing it, I really didn't use this pocket for much because I don't like having things bulky sitting in front here. If you had a rainfly, I guess you can put it right there. I think that's the only good place you can put the rainfly. And I found that if I don't put anything there, it's easier to get the discs in and out. And so, but there's a pocket there with 2 zippers if you wanted to use it. I did not get a rainfly for this thing. I got this bag at 50% off a Dynamic Disc website, so I figured that's enough. I didn't need a rainfly if I If I get rained on, that's fine, but I don't have a rain find to do for this review. So that's the front of the E64 luxury bag, or E4 luxury bag. We're gonna go ahead to the sides now. The sides on each of these bags do differ a little bit. So let's start with the Combat Ranger. We have this strap right here. This is to help secure an umbrella or a three-leg stool. It has a snap right here for your keys, a hook. It has two compartments down here. This is a cup holder or a water bottle holder. It holds up to 32-ounce bottle. And this right here is really for your stool or your retriever or your umbrella to go in here, and then it feeds through this strap right here, and you just cinch it down. I have also used this for a 16-ounce water bottle, and it fits just fine, or a pop, and it fits fine. So you technically do have two water bottles on this bag. It also has this little pocket up here, which I found very hard to fit. It barely fits my dry bag. It does not fit my phone at all, but I do find that it's a little difficult to put things in there because it's just not a good enough size. But I understand why they have it, because they have the strap in the back. On the luxury bag here, it's got one bottle holder, and this is the only water bottle holder on the whole entire bag. It does have a hole in the bottom for drainage. It also has this little pocket next to the water bottle hole. This little pocket is where you would put your umbrella or your stool, and that feeds through the similar strap that's on the Combat Ranger. And this little strap, it is sewn in with this rubberized material to kind of keep durability, to kind of keep it durable, so that it doesn't rip off the fabric that's sitting on the E64. It has this little loop right here. This little loop is you can put a carabiner or some kind of hooks here for your keys if you wanted to. But that is the Latitude solution for keeping umbrella and stool secure. Major difference is that on this side, rather than have an extra holder, they only have a small holder, and they have created space for a pocket that's right here. This pocket, you can fit a dry bag or extra minis or a giant phone. My phone is an S21. If you have an S23 or S24, S25, it should fit in here. I don't know what S we're on, but I know this is an S21 Ultra with a case, and it fits perfectly fine. You can even close it if you wanted to. This pocket up here has pencil holders. It also zips open like this. It also does fit a phone nicely as well, just like that. You can also, this is where I put my dry bag, and it fits fine. If you look on this side of the Combat Ranger, putting my phone in here is kind of like a little struggle because it doesn't zip all the way, it doesn't fit all the way. So that's that side. Moving on to the other side of the bag. On the Combat Ranger, you have this pocket, which is for your putters. It is dedicated for your putters, and then you move it from there. You have one pocket that runs the whole entire depth of the bag. You have a mini holder, a pencil holder. You have one zipper that opens up like this. You can fit your phone laying horizontally, but when I try to put my phone standing up, it does not zip all the way, and it doesn't have two zippers, so I can't zip them up and hold them in one place. So this particular pocket, my phone has flown out of this pocket when I picked my bag up and swung it over my shoulders. My phone has fallen out of there. So that's that side right there. On the Lat64, you have a putter pocket right here. You have a mini holder right here. And then you have this zipper pocket on the inside. I find that this zipper pocket is kind of annoying. I wish they would just take the zipper out and leave it so that the putter pocket is kind of like similar to this, where I can hold more putters in this pocket, versus leaving this zipper right here. I'll go in details in the full review of this bag to explain you why. But anyways, you want to put extra bags, you want to put an extra towel or rain fly in there, you can, but it does extra zipper pockets. And then this putter pocket can hold two putters. Moving up from there, we have another huge pocket right here. This is where I fit my extra towels, my extra dry bags, or sometimes I would just put my phones, my sunglasses, doggy poop bags in this pocket right up here. And it fits just fine. Like all these three pockets that Lat64 has put on their bags, it fits my phone just fine. So all the zipper pockets do have some function. Because the pocket on this bag with the putters coming in, I'll show you this at the end of the video, when I pull it out, it does not interfere with this pocket like it does sometimes with the Combat Ranger. And that is the sides. Then we're going to the back of the bag. On the Combat Ranger, we have these very nice 3D mesh material, very thick. It runs across all across the top here. It has this very nice foam with airflow mechanics to help with reduced sweating or hot temperatures. Hot spots, I should say. It has the straps themselves do have these little loops. This is to feed the water bladder hosing for your water, to access your water. It has a sternum strap. It also has these strap keepers on the bottom if you ever want to use them and you don't want to step on them. And this foam material and cushion does run all the way to the bottom right here, so this bag is actually very comfortable to wear. The Lat 64, the straps, they do have the 3D mesh material, except it is not as wide. The width of it is not as wide as the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger. It also has 3D mesh material with a little bit of air channels to help with the airflow, and this material on the bottom. I feel like these are not as thick as the ones on the Combat Ranger, and the straps are, because they're so thin, they do tend to dig into my shoulder more than the Dynamic Disc. On the Lat 64, you do have these little spots right here you can hook your carabiners in if you want to hook extra towels. The one thing I noticed is this is the first $200 bag that does not have a sternum strap. I don't know why, but this bag does retail for $200. I got it on sale, but that doesn't change the fact that this is retail for $200, and it does not have strap keepers, excess strap keepers, like the Combat Ranger does. And technically this is $10 more than the Combat Ranger, so take it as you wish. Let's go ahead and fill these bad boys up and see how they look. Alright guys, I got both bags loaded up with as many discs as I can that fits in here that's comfortable. So right now I've been rocking the Lat 64 bag for this the whole entire week. So it's got all the discs that I normally carry on my rounds, and then the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger, it has all the discs that I've been using on all my videos. So they're very comparable. They have putters, and they have a combination of mid-range, fairway drivers, and distance drivers in all of the compartments. Okay, so I didn't put anything on the top because these are personal items. If you guys want to use this for extra disc capacity, you can just add whatever amount of discs. I can show you how many discs each one of these hold, but usually I put my towels, all of my extra shirts. These can hold, like I'll show you this one right here. This is a large hoodie, and it fits in there just fine. You can do the same thing on this side, and these bags don't have side pockets, so they're kind of goofy. Everything just kind of goes in this top pocket. Yeah, and you could fit a ton in here with there's more space in here for other things. You can put extra shirts, extra towels. So yeah, so these two bags have no issues with storage in terms of valuable items. And then other valuable items kind of like get scattered throughout the bag. So that's why I didn't really put too many things up here. It was more like to show you disc capacity and how they function in terms of holding things that you normally most likely need on the course. All right, so start with the Combat Ranger, the putter pocket. I'll just show you both sides here. The putter pocket here, it holds two discs. It's got this shape. It's got this hole in the ground on the bottom of it, like here. You can see this hole here, and it's very functional as a putter pocket. Sometimes when you do grab your putter out, there is this thing that you have to kind of worry a little bit. Once the bag breaks in, it's not such an issue. And if your putters aren't so big like a Condor or a Glitch, then it's not such an issue. The only other time I've seen an issue is that when I had my Lunas, which is like a special blend, which is a little bit more tacky, then sometimes it gets stuck and I'm having to fight with it to get it out, and then that's when like you can see I'm touching this thing right now. So that's the only time. I've tried to fit 3 putters in here. It doesn't fit that well. I mean, I'll kind of show it to you right now. Here's another putter right here. Like if you try to fit 3 putters in here, you can see it's just kind of like, it's like no thank you. So it's more comfortable with just 2 putters on that putter pocket. And then like I said, my issue is that hitting this pocket when you're trying to pull the putters out. As far as the amount of discs in here, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. There is one putter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mid-range in here, and then a bunch of fairway drivers, and I think only like 4 distance drivers. So it can hold a good amount. There's 20 in the main compartment. you can get these in and out just fine. Like they're not going to be a problem getting it up, in and out. So if you want to carry less than that, that's perfect. You can carry more if you have more distance drivers or fairway drivers in this bag. I just happen to have a lot of mid-range in this setup. If I put a disc in this pocket, for instance, if I put this mid-range in here, taking the disc in and out is going to be a challenge. It's a little bit of a struggle to get it in and out because this displacement, if I take that out, now it's so easy to get it in and out. Like if I put this back in here like it was before, even putting that in was a lot easier without a disc in here. So I've been using it with no disc. Sorry, I just tapped the microphone. My apologies. The water bottle is 32 ounce. It comes in and out just fine. I do like this pocket because it holds its shape. So when I go to put it in one hand, I'm not having to fight with my other finger to try to get the pocket to open up and hold its shape. So that is a nice thing about that pocket. Once again, you got this thing you got to contend with. So if you have a water bottle that's a little bit taller, it will mess with this pocket right here. Right now in here I have the disc retriever, so you can kind of see how stable it is. It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, this bag is tall enough to hold a disc retriever just fine. I will demonstrate how the stool looks so that you can kind of get an idea of how an umbrella and a stool looks on this bag. It's just that this particular bag, it's really a pain to put this stool in here, so I wanted to show you that. But yeah, that's so you're looking at 20 discs down here, 22 putters, so that's 22. Plus another 5 or 6 discs up here, so you're looking at probably up to 27 discs on the Combat Ranger, depending on what kind of disc you carry. So keep that in mind. As far as the Latitude 64 luxury bag, we got a similar pocket over here. Again, 2 putters. I think you probably could do 3 putters. It's just a little bit tighter. Now, if you're going to put 3 putters in here, it's really hard to do that if you're going to put something in this pocket because it does take up space. I even tried doing it with the pocket like this. It doesn't work too well. Like, it's just floppy. Don't care for that. And so this pocket, I feel like it's kind of a waste. They should have just made a dedicated putter pocket that has a either elasticated piece in the front here, like along here and along here, to help keep its shape and then still be able to get the putters in and out away from this pocket. But I understand why they put this here, because they didn't want you to use this as a putter, because when you pull the putter vertically up, it's going to hit this pocket. So I get it. But if I do this, it will function just fine with 3 putters. And I think over time when this stretches, it will hold 3 putters just fine. Just know that you won't be able to use the zipper pocket very well. And then there's the mini that goes in there. So there's putters in there. The main compartment right now I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I do have 3 putters, 4 putters, 3 mid-range, a ton of fairway drivers, and only 2 distance drivers, because this is my current bag setup. I'm pretty positive this main compartment on this Latitude 64 bag will hold 20 discs just fine. So you're looking at very similar capacities. So 20 in the main compartment plus 2, that's 22. In this top compartment, if you're carrying, you only care about, you know, practicing with a round and disc, you can fit a cavernous amount of discs in here. Like, let me just demonstrate how many discs you can put in here. And you can do the same thing on this bag too. I just think out of all the pockets, between these 2 bags, I think I prefer this pocket more. I think it's just easier to use, in my opinion. So you can see the bag, like it's just gone. Like, it's just like you can use it as a putter pocket if you want. My only thing is that this pocket's not meant for that. So like, if you want to try to fold it down, you can, but it's just not meant to be a putter pocket. It's meant to be a valuables pocket, but you can use it. And if you're going to use it, I prefer this pocket versus this, because this is how it would look, and pulling it out could cause a problem, but you get the idea. Like, this is what it look like in here, and it just looks goofy, and you have all the space from the left to the side. So I don't think it's as clean of a look as this pocket, but this one you would have to orient your disc like this, so that when you're pulling it in and out, you're not pulling the tab, this flap with you. If you put it the other way, again, because it's not meant to be a disc pocket, you pull it this way and now you're pulling the flap out. So just keep that in mind with the 2 different pockets. So yeah, you can put, what is this, like 4 mid-range in here. You can put probably, I want to say like 10 discs in here. 10, not mid-range, maybe 8, okay? So you're looking at 22 to 30 discs in this bag if you're just going to carry it for discs, and if you're going to use these other pockets to carry your valuables or your towels or your things like that. So yeah, just keep that in mind with this particular bag. Whereas I feel like this bag, the pocket isn't, I don't know, it's just not as, it doesn't give much space for the discs to lay in compared to this bag, which is so odd. As far as the side goes, it does hold a 32-ounce bottle. However, this doesn't hold its shape. And the reason for that is because it's very soft material and it's got this cinch down strap here. So when you put it in and you're trying to fight with it, you can see the water bottle holder sometimes collapses on itself. So you have to kind of mess with it with your other hand, and it kind of defeats the purpose of efficiency. I think that pocket on that bag is more efficient in terms of function compared to this pocket. It will still fit the bottle, it's just when you put it in, especially with this here, you kind of have to like use two hands to do it. Speaking of the stool holder, because this pocket is so tiny, when you put it in here and it's so close to this thing, it's so tight that it's really hard to get your stool or your umbrella in and out of the sleeve if you need it to. So now I'm going to leave this off and I'm going to unstrap this so you can kind of see how little, like I can definitely fit two of these legs in here, but you have to fight with it because it tapers at the bottom. It's meant to be an umbrella holder more than a stool holder, is why I think they made it like that. And yeah, so it actually tapers at the bottom, so the top of the umbrella fits down there better than the stool. And then if I pull that out, these pockets do not really, these two right here pockets do not really affect these two up here. It's just when you have the stool in here, you might not be able to get your zipper all the way with this bottom pocket. And this zipper, you can see, is big enough to hold a rangefinder. That's how big this nice pocket is. But you're taking up space from this umbrella sleeve, part of a sleeve, and you're taking up space from the cup holder. So I think they need to think this whole mess through. And the reason why I say that is because if I go over here, and if I use the Combat Ranger to hold this stool, let me show you how easy it is and how nice and secure and clean it is. I feed all three legs through here. I feed all three legs through this little pocket right here. And then I just cinch this down. And it's like no fight whatsoever. And you can see, and I'm done. And like that's secure, and like it's just much easier to manage compared to this little tiny pocket that I have to feed one leg through and make sure it's in the right position. But if you were to use it to carry a retriever, it's fine. However, the strap is so high, so tall up here, that I am struggling to like get this thing to stay. So really, there's really nowhere else to put this retriever on this particular bag because this strap is just so high. Like if they put it down right here, like if you see, this is the Ranger, that's how tall it is, and this thing is like all the way up here. So you can see my fingers, this one's taller than this one. So yeah, so if you're trying to use it as a retriever holder or secure retriever, it's not so easy. So yeah, that's pretty much the capacity of the bags and how they function on each of their sides and the pockets. I think as far as comfort goes, I think putting the Dynamic Disc Combat Ranger on, it's more comfortable. The cushions on the back and the back panels feel more comfortable than the Lat 64 bag. I think the straps on the Combat Ranger is more comfortable. This one I think is just too narrow. I don't think it has enough surface area. And there are times I have a long walk from basket to tee, so I don't understand why there's no sternum strap, because I personally do use a sternum strap. And I really prefer the strap system on the Combat Ranger than on the Latitude 64. However, I prefer the valuables pocket on the Latitude 64 versus the Dynamic Disc bag. Yeah, there's little quirky things that I prefer, you know, one bag over the other. So it's kind of hard to like decide on just one bag. They're both stable bags. Like, you know, it would take a lot to get these bags to tip over. They're, you know, they're both hard bottom materials, so they're fine. They both function slightly differently. They both have the main compartment, and they both have the valuables pocket up here. But I think aesthetically, I prefer the looks of the Lat 64 over the dynamic disc, but that's just a subjective matter. And I actually don't understand why this bag is $200. I think $150 for this bag would make sense. It's not, like, I tried looking up the materials. It's not 500 D Cordura, and it's not 1000 D Cordura. So and it doesn't have a sternum strap. The padding, I think, is a little, I think they just put it on there, but I don't think it really has any real function. I think it could use more padding, and I think the layout of some of the pockets don't make any sense to me. Like this right here, I think this is too much material. I think they could have just done a small material if they want to use it for a rainfly. I would have rather have that, because a lot of times putting anything up here causes these discs very difficulty getting it in and out. Like this bag is really easy as it is, and that is because this is empty up here. But I feel like if I put anything up here, it's a little bit of pain. I didn't demonstrate this, but if you can put a disc in here, taking it in and out does cause a little bit of friction if there's a disc in that sleeve. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I think the dynamic disc, I bought it used, but I think $200 is still kind of much for it. I think both of these bags should be the $150 range. That's just my opinion on what the cost should be. And then who do I think these bags are for? I think these bags are for someone who has really small shoulders, or not broad shoulders. I think these straps are fine. Just know that the bag is a little bit heavy for these straps. So it might work for a small shoulder, but then the rest of the bag is really, really big. And it doesn't look big and it doesn't look heavy, but it is on the heavier side. So I think someone who wants this bag is someone who prefers this pocket and this style and wants the pockets that are big enough to fit their cell phones, and doesn't really mind the cup holder, then this bag will be fine. I mean, this pocket up here on the Lat 64, you can just fit, like, you can just take your bottle and throw it in there if you don't want to deal with the cup holder. It works. You can probably fit 3 of these in here. So I put one here. So here, let me just show you. Here's 1, and here's 2. This thing is just big, but you can fit literally 2 in here if you have a smaller cap. But yeah, it will fit 2 to 3 32 ounce in there just fine. Like, it's ginormous. So I think that's what this bag is for someone who likes the looks of this, who likes this style, who likes these bigger pockets. I know I do. I love these bigger pockets for the cell phones. And then the Dynamic Disc Ranger, I think this is for someone who likes the more rugged look, the more square look, because I know some people prefer that over this, you know, curved look. And they prefer having a bag with the water bladder capabilities. They prefer a bag that has more padding and wider, thicker straps versus the Lat 64. And they don't mind the pockets. They don't mind throwing all of their stuff in one big pocket, like their phones, their keys, and things like that. And you know, someone who likes to use water bottles and doesn't want to mess with a pocket that doesn't collapse on them. They want to use a stool that is easily secure and not like the 64. So I think that's, you know, each person's got to pick and choose what is more important to them when deciding between these two bags, especially if they have $200. I already touched base a little bit on the price, and I do think the price should be lower than $200 for each of these bags, now that I've used them. And I'm really glad that I did not pay more than $100 for each of these bags. I gotta be honest, because after wearing them, I think I have a certain standard on how comfortable my bag should be. But if you see these on sale for $100, they are a really great buy. Like, I paid 80 bucks for this bag, and I paid less than 100 for this bag. So it's right now half off at the Dynamic Disc website. And yeah, that's my overall conclusion comparison of these two bags. Hope that was helpful. Any questions or comments, leave it below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Alright, this is Team with Rear Disc, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.